when do we get the best group here? When do you start making moves where guys at the AAA level are just poking at the door or knocking at the door like, hey, you got to bring me up? I mean, Christopher Morel hit another home run today. Like it's getting to the point where, yeah, you better be playing him every day. No matter what group he's on, no matter if he's playing at AAA, if he's playing at the big league level, the bats he's putting there, you're just wasting, really, when you look at it, because he could be doing it here. What really is the difference? Is there really that much of a difference in terms of, obviously, big league pitching is better, where he's not going to hit a home run every day like he is in Iowa. But does he provide more than what you got on the roster? I think he does. And you just start to wonder, you have to put that lineup out there like that. And are you just better served, like, just cutting the cord on some of these guys? Bullpen's the same way, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, let's get into the bats, because I'm glad you brought that up. And immediately, my brain went to exactly what you just said. I was sitting watching the game with my lady tonight, and I looked at her and I said, I was like, I'm over Madrigal, and I'm over Rios, and I'm over Torrens, and I'm over all these clowns on the roster that are coming in meaningful situations when you need to win baseball games. Why? Why are they like? Why is Madrigal pinch hitting and swinging at fastballs that are at his face? You're 5'4" on a good day, dude. What are you swinging at? And I get it. Swinging a baseball bat's hard. I'm not going to question that. But like you said, Juice, when do we get to see the best version of this team? Because right now, 3/26 of that at minimum are in Iowa.
Yeah.
And one's up with you now, but as soon as Bellinger comes back, he's going back to Iowa. And like Scott said here in the comments, now he's ninth inning at bat, which was incredible, by the way, to take that walk the way he did against Hader and foul off as many pitches as he did. Should have solidified he is ready to stay in Chicago. And I think he is. I think he's legitimately ready to stay in Chicago. Will he play every day here? No. And I think as long as he's okay with that, the Cubs are okay with that, he's a better bat off the bench in situations like tonight than Madrigal or Rios or Torrens are. And the same goes, like you said, for Christopher Morel, for Matt Mervis. There's a world where even if you wanted to keep Eric Hosmer on the roster, there is a world where if he's in the lineup that day, he's playing first. Like you said, he's there for his defense. And then you can sift through rotating guys like Wisdom and Mervis and Mancini in that DH role, or you can play Mervis at first and give Hosmer the day, and then Morel can play a lot of third. Or if Morel needs to spell somebody in the outfield, or Nelly V spells somebody in the outfield, like, that's just such a deeper team. I feel so much better going into a late game situation where if you want to play matchups, you can, because you have meaningful bats coming off the bench, not these guys that admittedly probably don't make it on most rosters. It's just, to your point, Juice, when does this front office finally say, okay, we are serious about winning? Luis Torrens, Edwin Rios, Nick Madrigal, whomever are not getting the job done. Let's bring up Christopher Morel. Let's bring up Matt Mervis. Let's keep Nelly V in Chicago and let these boys roll and see what happens. Because you still have, even with those guys here, it's not like you're losing veteran leadership.
No.
With Torrens and Rios and Madrigal leaving, right? Your veterans are your Mancinis, your Bellies, your Swansons, your Hosmers. They're still here. Your Yan Gomes, they're still here. Let the young kids come and learn in that environment. Like, wouldn't that still be good for them? I get getting the everyday at-bats in Iowa. I fully understand that in its entirety. But, like, eventually you just need to give us the best product available.
And just to build on that, you look at the least amount of moves that David Ross can do, too. Like, if you take out a Swanson, a Horner, a Suzuki, a Happ out of this lineup, and you already have, Cody Bellinger out, obviously on paternity leave.
Yep.
The lineup looks gross, and not in a good way. Like, very much underwhelming 4A talent if you were to give during this stretch a Dansby or a Nico the day off. And that goes too for the bullpen. Like you saw it in today's game. It got to the end of the game, and it's like you can almost see it in Ross's eyes that he doesn't want to burn Fulmer like ever anymore. And he was just forced to put in Merriweather.
Can you blame him?
No, but like when I say this all the time about some of these guys that we brought in.
Yeah.
Hosmer, Mancini, like these 1-year guys. And you know me, Ron, I love a 1-year deal.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's great about a 1-year deal? It's not long. And you also on the back end, you don't owe them anything. Like you are a 1-year deal signifies to the MLB that there was no market for you in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Players
don't take 1-year deals unless they just didn't like what was out there for them. And it could have been a multi-year deal out for Trey Mancini. Could have been. Absolutely could have been.
And it technically was because of the option, but nonetheless.
Right. Nonetheless, it's at the end of the year, the Cubs could walk away from this, and it doesn't really matter. I don't understand because you're holding on to guys like Rios and Torrens that I think if you were to pass them through, and I think Torrens is the one that does not have any options left, if I'm not mistaken. I think he clears it anyway, and he probably ends up in your AAA farm. And if he doesn't, what's the big problem here? Right. You're seeing Pablo Aliendo in your system, who's years away, but the depth is there. You're seeing Miguel Amaya's resurgence from his injuries, having a great start to his season down in the farm system. It's just I don't get why you're holding on to like 4A players right now.